Hey, Dr. Robert Mickley here. Just want to show you the ease in planning a blue sky plan. So, I have a patient with a very straightforward second molar needs replacement. Bone levels are a little bit complex. We've got a submandibular fossa here. We've got the bone kind of dying in a little bit on the buccal. So, I want to make sure to nail this. Best way to do that is a guide. So, I've already segmented out the bone. If you don't know how to do that, we've got other videos showing you that. Makes life much, much easier to know exactly where that bone is. But what Blue Sky's added recently is the ability to add a tooth with a couple of clicks. So I'm just going to add a tooth here, click on the tooth, click on the space more or less where it is. The AI will generate a molar exactly where you want it to be in occlusion. And these are just the STL files we've taken earlier. Within just a couple of seconds, we have a tooth there. That'll allow us to know where our final restoration is going to go, and then putting the implant underneath that becomes a far easier endeavor. What I find sometimes is we'll put in the implant where more or less the bone wants to go, but it's not going to be a great restorative plan. So we've got our tooth here. What I like to do here is I'll play with the transparencies of these things. So we'll go to the maxillary model. We'll turn down the transparency here so I can see it from the top as well. Now we look at our plan here. We're going to come out of the, more or less the central fossa of that tooth. So now we just go to add implant. And I like the Forte implants or the Max implants, same connection, just the Forte is a little more of aggressive thread. Bone density here is decent, so I'll actually start with a Max implant and we'll see where we go from there. So let's start with a 4.3 by 10, this being a standard implant size. We'll line things up and see if it makes sense. All right, so a little tight here on my depth. I'm really cutting it close to that sublingual fossa. I like to leave a little bit of depth subosseous for ease of the lab to make you a nice emergence profile. We see that's coming right out the central fossa. But okay, I want to change my height, so I'm going to replace the implant, and let's see what a 5 by 8 would look like. So let's go 5 by 8. Shorter, I could drop that down just a hair. We've got nice width for it. And there you go. That is our implant planned. You see where the root kind of drops distally here, but we've still got space between it. We generally want about 1.5 millimeters of space. To the thread, I'm just shy of 1.5 millimeters, so if I want to be really technical here, let's just tilt this implant out a drop. Let's see what that does to my exit hole. Makes it a little bit further out. Let me bring that back just a hair here. Actually, now I can straighten that up because I've got my depth just by pulling it back. There's my exit for my screw retained crown. And now without thinking during surgery, I know my implant's going to drop exactly where I want it to go. Let's go to our guide panel. And now we just select the model we're doing it on, which is the mandibular model. We can click the automatic curve button, but I tend to find that that makes a little bit larger of a guide than I particularly like. We could turn that tooth off now. Go to implant list, we turn on our guide pin. We go to surfaces, let's turn off the number 19 tooth. So it's not in our way. Excellent. Draw a curve, I'm clicking the shift button here. And we're just drawing a little guide. Again, you can make these larger. I happen to like them to be a little bit smaller. I want about 2.5 teeth space-wise. See, it kind of jumped around here. The way to fix that is either you could grab onto these nodes and pull them down. What I like to do is, again, hit that shift key and just draw a new line. And that'll straighten that up. Looking at it from all angles. And then we had create surgical guide. And again, within just a few seconds, you have a guide made up. You hit print. I'm using the Formlabs print in-house, but Blue Sky Plan offers free surgical guides where we can send this to the laboratory and they will fabricate it for you if you're using Blue Sky Bio implants. Really a value unheard of in the implant market. More information on that, we can click on the link below. I'll tag in this and off to the races with the implant. We spent a few minutes planning. Your surgery will go, multiple times faster and more accurate than you ever could have freehand, all keeping it within a reasonable price range, both in cost of the implant and in cost of the guide, and making this available to your patients at a very reasonable fee. Okay, have a great day, everybody.